There, back to my wind-powered pond aerator. Anyways, let's see, where did I leave off after part one? Okay, anyways, I've gotten a 3/4 inch drill bit that should fit this. So I'm just going to drill another hole for my exhaust valve, or exhaust, yeah, anyways, where the pressure line to the water, or to the pond. There, that fits nice and snug. Just make sure that everything, all my bolts will fit on the head, because I think I might have to enlarge some of these holes because it probably doesn't line up. There, look at that. My bolts all fit. At least the 6 I was able to find, they can all get in here. I'm still missing 2, I'm not sure where they went. So I think I'll do is just take this thing off, clean it up, and then put it on with some gasket maker. All done. I'm just going to let my sealant cure for a while, and before I test it. So in the meantime, I think I'll go back to finishing off on installing the turbine. Yeah, perfect. Now I just need to get this mounted on my post and then get the wind turbine mounted on it, and then I can start getting the motor or the pump mounted and all the hoses. Yeah, it's looking a little bit crooked. I got it all set up. I just need to bring a ladder down, then I can finish getting the braces and then getting the turbine put on. Now here comes the fun part. I need to carry this up my ladder and put it over top of my the shaft. Let's see how this goes. I don't know if I should record this or not. Maybe I won't in case there's injuries. There, a better idea. I'll lower the shaft so it's only that high, then I just have to put the wind turbine up there. I should have thought of that in the beginning and put my wind turbine up before putting the shaft through. There, it's up. Got a few more bits to buy, but once I do that, then I can get this thing working. There, I picked up a few more bits for this. I got these two. They just go on like this, and then I will put the rod from the turbine in here. I also got a rod for this. It's 1 inch or 1/2 inch. This is 3/4, so I'm going to have to probably get something to shim it up. Don't worry about that later. I also picked up another one of these valves. I'll have this one on my aerator. I also tried to see if I could buy an aerator that normally goes with one of the commercial ones, but they usually don't sell them separate, so I'm going to have to make my own for that too. But I think I have a bit of a problem with this. My piston isn't coming all the way up. And I also can hear that I have a leak. I can kind of feel it around here. If I turn it fast enough, it will open and close the valves, but kind of feels like it's bottoming out against something right there. So I'm going to probably have to take this out and just see if I can feel around in there. But I think when I put this back together, I'm going to have to use some Teflon tape to seal up the leaks on the threads, because if I turn it fast enough, it will open and close the valves, but I'll have to turn it pretty fast. I think they'll make a any sound once I get it all together. There, I figured out why this was binding at the top. Now this piston comes pretty much flush with the top of the deck. There's a lot of carbon buildup, so I think I was just pressing against my wooden head enough that it wouldn't quite reach top dead center. Anyways, I made this, it's a little plastic shim. I made it out of the plastic lid for a cat litter bucket. So I'm going to put that on and just see if that helps. If that works, then I'll put some of my gasket maker and then bolt it all up and then put my valves back in. Now that the pump is done, I can get back to work on the turbine part. To basically drive the pump using the turbine, I'm going to be using this this steel rod here. It's 5 feet long, about ½ inch in diameter. And on the bottom end, I'm going to have it attached to my lower coupling. Now, it's a little bit small for that. I got this size because I didn't want it too big for fitting inside the shaft, which is 3/4 inch diameter inside. So, anyways, what I'll do is flatten the two sides here, and then I'll probably put some just a shim on either side just to center it in that and to keep it from spinning. For the top end, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to basically flatten it, and then I was going to have it go through. I was going to have a plate attached to the top of the to the turbine, and I figured that the lid of a dryer or lid of a washing machine would be the perfect thickness. I would just have to double it up. So anyways, I guess that's the last time that laundromat will try swapping comforters on me. No, just kidding. I didn't. I took it from an abandoned one. I didn't take it from a laundromat. Anyways, I'm going to start grinding off the edge and then cutting around this using my grinder and my jigsaw. And there's a small change of plans. Instead of using my plates here at the top of my wind turbine, I was just going to use a piece of wood instead. Cut a slot in the top that will fit. Let's see if you can see this. Put a couple flots on here, so this should just fit in there like this, and that'll go on the top. I also made a little plastic cap so that it keeps the elements out of my bearing. Now for the bottom end, I made a smaller flat. And what I was going to do in my little coupling is then use a piece like this. This is from the edge of that washing machine door. I'll just put that. Let's see if you can see this. Yeah, I got a bigger flat there. And just put that on like that. And it goes in there. It'll be just like, let's see if you can see it, just like that. Anyways, I'm going to take all this stuff down to the pond and then get it put onto my turbine. There, I managed to get the rod in and the coupling on, which is kind of tough when the thing's turning. I guess what I should have done is try to figure out an off switch for it. Maybe if I make another one, which I will be, I will probably have it on a shorter shaft so it's closer to this, so I can put a pin in there to pin it, so when I'm doing work like this it's not turning on me. Anyways, I guess the next thing to do is just to get the motor mounted here. So I'm going to measure the offset and then figure out some way to get that attached. For my base, for my motor or my pump, I think 19 inches of this should be enough. The bolts are about 4 inches from the center, the worst or the widest one. This is 9, so I should have enough room for that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, I guess, 19 inches off of this, and then drill the holes for putting the motor onto it for the pump. All right, I think the next thing I'm going to have to do is to drill a 3.5 inch hole in the middle here to fit this. Another option is to cut this off. I know I've tried taking this off before, but it's pretty stuck. But I could always cut the shaft and take it off. I think I'm just going to put the hole in here. The other thing I need to worry about is I've got 3 spots on here that kind of stick out the bottom because the bottom of my motor slash pump is not flat. So I think I'm going to do is also, once I drill that hole, is then to drill a couple other or 3 other holes to fit these, and it should sit flat on this part. And then I should have about 1/2 inch gap between this flange and where it's resting. But hopefully once I do that, it'll sit at least fairly flat. Might have to do some more shimming to get it to line up with the shaft coming off my wind turbine, because I know that's not perfectly straight. But anyways, I think the first thing I'm going to do is drill my 3.5 inch hole here, and then get it fitted so I can drill the holes for these 3. There, I got my center hole drilled out or cut out. I initially tried using this, didn't work very well, so I had to use my jigsaw. Anyways, the next thing I'm going to do is probably drill the holes for my mounting bolts. I would like to make them like a nice 1.5 inch so that I can put a big washer on, but the only washers I have are a little bit too large for the bolts. So these ones should fit, but I'll have to use a 1 inch. So once I got these drilled, then I can mark off my spots for my other bits on here, and then get those partly drilled out too. Then I should have this, be able to get this fixed and mounted onto the post. There, I think we got it. I just need to add some bracing to this, and then I can get it mounted onto that post. And then I can put the motor on and get it connected. There, the pump mount is made. The next step is to get it mounted onto the post. I actually used new screws for this instead of the old junk I usually try. Anyways, let's get this mounted and see if it works. There, now comes the fun part. I need to get my motor on my brace and then put my brace up on here so it connects onto that. I started my screws, so that shouldn't be too bad. I try to get this filmed, but I don't really have any place to set my camera down. I don't have my way of wearing it, so you might have to miss this part. Anyways, there. I think I'm about 2 inches out. So I think I'll have to take this back up to the garage and cut some new holes further to the end. Well, that kind of sucks. I guess I'll be starting over on a new piece. Hopefully I can get the measurements right this time, so I only have to do this once. All right, let's try this again. There we go. I think I'll take this down to the pond and just see how it fits now, and then I can try getting the height right. I had a little bit of carnage. I snagged my drill bit on something going through and managed to hurt my... Alright, I guess that's the end of part 2. I was hoping to have it all wrapped up by the end of the second video, but I think I might need to have a third one. Anyways, stay tuned to part 3 when I get this thing all finished up and working.